I'm not going to make a lot more videos on this topic, but I think people that have had COVID or experienced it in some way need to know this. So COVID-19 is known as SARS-CoV-2, and there was the original SARS virus, SARS-CoV-1. The people that were infected with SARS-CoV-1 still have natural immunity or T-cell immunity 17 years later. This is the study that was published in Nature. Here it is on page 3. So what does this all mean for the uninitiated? Well, basically, your natural immunity is made up of 3 major components, and anybody who's an epidemiologist can correct me if I'm wrong. That is your antibodies, your B and T cells. Antibodies basically bind themselves to foreign substances and pathogens, preventing them from entering other healthy cells in your body. If you've ever blown a big green snot rocket out of your mouth, that green stuff is your antibodies. They're considered the first line of defense in your immune system or as a part of the innate response. Then you have the acquired response, which is the B and T cells. They're like the special operators of your immune system. They target specific pathogens that you have acquired experience with from previous infection. B cells will create antibodies that are designed to attack a specific virus. There are at least 2 different kinds of T cells. There are helper T cells, which help stimulate B cells, and then there are killer T cells, which go and kill infected cells that have been infected with COVID-19, for example. So, it's a really big deal that T cell immunity from SARS-CoV-1 has so far lasted 17 years. That's because that's as far as they've measured it. And SARS-CoV-1 is from the same family as SARS-CoV-2, or COVID-19. So what does the data say about COVID-19 in terms of natural immunity? How long does it last? And how does this compare to the vaccine? Well, according to this 11-month natural immunity study from NIH, people still had immunity at the end of the study. Versus the vaccine immunity, here's a recent NIH blog discussing a study on vaccine immunity. Vaccine immunity dropped off after 6 months. It even says here the data also suggests greater immunity protection in fully vaccinated healthcare workers who'd had a breakthrough infection of SARS-CoV-2 or who had had the natural infection. There's at least 150 studies out there on natural immunity. This article from The Lancet contains quite a few good ones from places like the Cleveland Clinic. Okay, that's great. Why is CDC, NIH, all of those government agencies still recommending everybody get vaccinated? That's a great question because here you have Paul Offit, who is one of the lead advisors to the Biden administration, saying if you've had COVID, you don't need to get 3 shots. Could it have anything to do with the fact that our regulators like the FDA get 46% of their budget from pharmaceutical companies, and that Pfizer brought in $37 billion last year? Natural infection also exposes you to the whole virus versus the vaccine is only a portion of the virus, so there's an argument that it is better at protecting against variants. So yes, COVID is dangerous, but the vax isn't always necessary, and if you found this helpful, please share it.